wish it had like a 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so this is a disclaimer because, first of all, well, you know what? I should introduce Joan. This is Joan. I did a video with her, not with her, but of her, um, talking about her driving. Joan is a therapist that I work with here at Improving Lives, and I'm so glad that we're like office mates now. Her office is right across from mine, and I really like that. But one of the things I noticed, Joan, when I drove up, I started laughing because I looked in the parking lot and I saw, I saw that you were not parked in the lines. Joan, Joan, how does that happen?
I'm in a hurry all the time. I don't know. Yeah.
I said, oh my gosh, I gotta talk to Joan about that. I gotta talk to you. The other thing I want to tell you is, so I put on this jacket today. I was like, oh yeah, I got on this faux leather jacket, and you can see like specks all over my top because it's like shit. There's specks on the floor, so I'm gonna have to vacuum. So anyway, I just wanted you to meet Joan today, and what I wanted to do, I was talking to a client, and the client suggested, you should do like a therapist roundtable.
Mhm.
And so I invited a couple of other therapists, but they hadn't responded yet. And so I was like, you know what, this is good because you're a Christian therapist, and so am I.
Mhm.
And I thought, why not just, you know, um, talk about therapy or talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And I thank you for agreeing to this. I don't know if you had a choice.
I guess not. Nope.
But I just think it will be fun. It gives people an insight into therapists and what we're really like. And so I've been doing some like cleaning up and organizing at home, and so I found a folder of stuff. And so I gotta tell you all that Joan looked at me like, what am I gonna do? You just never know. So I just thought, here's something, just dealing with bullies. And bullying is something that we experience in relationships. Someone trying to assert control over the other person, telling them what to do and bossing them around. So I just thought maybe we can talk about bullying. And this is we can either talk about it from an adult perspective, bullying, because there could be bullying at work,
Right.
or bullying with kids, or I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about adults right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adult bullies. So, can you give me a scenario where it would be an adult bullying? I guess kind of in marriages too.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you think of something that comes to mind about that?
About relationships?
Yeah, relationships, bullying, any of that.
Yeah, there's instance where sometimes if you come out of trauma, you don't notice that a partner may be bullying you because you didn't look at the red flags in the beginning, or you're working through your own trauma, and then you realize, wow, I really shut down my voice in certain areas of not standing up for myself and not realizing that you're getting bullied in those situations.
Yeah, that's really good. So how then do we help the client see what's really happening? Because we're kind of talking a little bit about narcissistic behaviors. And so what they do, they like to isolate. They like to isolate the person so that they're not hearing from other people, and then you get like a false sense of reality. It's like,
Right.
well, maybe what he's saying is right, or what she's saying is right. This bully, and so we just succumb to whatever they say, and just become just shut off and numb and null to things around us. Yeah.
And that's easy to do if you don't know, you can't distinguish your own reality because of your trauma. So you're saying, I guess maybe he's right, and so you have to go back and figure out is that your reality true? Or is this just something that, that you, in series of life, have gotten situations after situations because you didn't notice that? And
Yeah. One thing that I was thinking of as you were talking is it's an unsafe relationship. It's an unsafe, and the reason I say unsafe is because emotionally, it could be physically unsafe too, but emotionally it's unsafe. Because you may just be so vulnerable that you will do anything. And again, goes back to trauma, some childhood trauma or something, and you don't have that voice, and so you just like, okay, because maybe the survivor had an overbearing parent, and they just told them what to do all the time, and so here they come into this narcissistic relationship, and they're doing the same thing. What I find is that patterns of behaviors that are not corrected will repeat later on in life. In some scenario, in some way, it's going to come up again, over and over again, until you go, wait a minute, that's the thread that's throughout my life. Do you find that too?
Yes, most definitely. And you'll get that same lesson over and over until you go back and face what you have avoided.
Yeah. I was talking to someone recently, and they said, I just thought I could just push it all down. It wasn't a narcissistic situation, but the childhood trauma piece was, as a little girl, I'm just going to push it down. I thought I buried that. So I thought it's like, no. And then all these years later, it's coming up, and the person can see this common thread all throughout their life of how that little girl who was left alone continues to show up in situations and let other people speak for her.
Yes, and if you don't understand how to process through it and learn how to become assertive instead of aggressive, that's where all the domestic violence starts to come out, because you're fighting to have your voice, but you don't know how to express, how to do that properly in a healthy way. And that's huge right now, because we have huge epidemic of domestic violence.
And domestic violence can spill over into workplace violence, and that workplace violence affects all of us. Workplace violence, we hear about workplace shootings and just what's going on in the world. This is, cases of people who haven't dealt with their anger and their rage that leads to, can lead to murder.
Yeah, and it's just a repeated cycle throughout, generations of not understanding how to have a voice, how to assert yourself, how to understand about your own feelings, that you can have feelings, and you can express it in a healthy way.
Yes. So what should we leave clients, people that are watching this video, what do you want to leave them with?
That there's always hope. There's always hope of that change in their life, even though they feel like they're drowning in it. That they can overcome that trauma personality. That it is not them. It is not them. That the real person is inside of them, just covered up with every bit of life problems and trauma. And they never may ever experience that in their life of who they truly are. But there is hope for that.
Yeah, and that's why we encourage people, everyone should have a therapist. I say that all the time. Even therapists should have therapists, most definitely. It just makes for healthier people. So I always just encourage people to get therapy, just to sit and talk to people, to someone who's licensed to help them work through and help connect those dots with their trauma, so that they don't act out.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Joan. See how easy it was?